All right, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of Gear and Beer. How's everybody doing today? I am Jeff MacNair, and I am joined by our very good friend, Neil Shirley over at Envy. Neil, how the heck are you?
Good. Good to see you, Jeff.
Yeah, good to see you, buddy. You got a beer going?
I do. I have a coffee stout from our friends right next door to Envy. We have a brewery called Roosters, and so we spend a little too much time over there. But they're always keeping us hydrated.
That's awesome. It must be pretty nice to have a brewery right next to the office. I feel like you might have a few lunch meetings there.
Yeah, it could be dangerous. Gotta be careful.
Nice. All right. Well, I'm cracking open this 10 Barrel Brewing Young Squeezed IPA. It's a hazy IPA. They're out of Bend, Oregon. I've been a fan of a lot of Bend, Oregon breweries lately, and
Yeah,
see how it is.
I'm a fan of Bend, Oregon in general. That's the spot. That's for sure.
It's such an incredible place. I mean, we're lucky to live where we are for sure, but that's on my small list of places that I would move for sure within the country.
Yeah.
So anyway, what have you been up to over at Envy? What's kind of been going on?
Oh man, since I guess last we talked was around the Foundation launch, right? And that was Foundation wheel launch, the 45 and the 65 road wheel sets back in April. So a lot's changed. We were like a lot of businesses, we were pretty dead there for March and April, but we've come roaring back as everyone's been out riding their bikes. Enjoying the summer. So we've been slammed. It's been really busy. The Foundation wheels have been highly successful. Too successful, maybe. We're having a hard time hitting decent timelines on those, but that's a good problem to have. It's been really positive. And then lots of bike riding too, man. That's why I work in the industry, so I can justify riding my bike.
That's the magic of it all, man. I mean, you work in an industry you love, and I'm glad that you've been getting out on some rides. What's the coolest ride you've done lately?
Well, just last Saturday, this past weekend, 5 of us from Envy were up in Jackson, Wyoming, and we did knocked out a 150-mile gravel loop that was pretty extraordinary. Yeah, over Teton Pass, and then gravel up and around and back in through Teton National Park. So just some exquisite roads, and a good time with my colleagues. Wow. It's funny because we can just we have to be have a good working relationship and be friendly at the office, but once we're on the bikes, man, it's every man for himself.
I've done a lot of cycling guiding for a cycling company. That we do like guided trips and stuff, and whenever we have like our company retreat, it's always like, it's so funny, like we're always riding with guests and like trying to make them feel comfortable, but every time we like ride together as just like the crew, the slogan is attack early and often, and just,
sure.
you just give your buddies hell, so it's always fun.
Good time.
It seems like you not only been busy with Foundation wheels and stuff, but now you've got tires. Let's talk tires here.
Yeah, tires were one of our worst kept secrets for quite a while. We've been this tire project has been going on. Well, we've been testing versions of the tires for over 2 years now. So that doesn't even go back to the original development before we had a tire to test. So they've been a long time coming. We're really happy to finally get tires out there. We have 4 different widths that we're going to be offering: 25, 27, 29, and 31. Those are tan and black sidewall. Right now, 25 and 29 were the first two to launch, and the demand was much greater than we expected, and so we've kind of blown through the stock of the first shipment, and we're waiting for that next shipment to come in to be able to process some of the back orders. But we're really excited with how the market, how customers receive the tires, how media receive the tires, and the understanding of what the ENVE SES tire is all about. It's not just us putting our name, on a tire, finding a vendor just to, do the hot patch with ENVE on the side and calling it good. The tire project really, I would say it really goes back to 2016 when we introduced the 4.5 AR wheel set, which was, the wheel set is it's a hookless bead wheel set and tubeless only. So at that point is when we realized the vast inconsistencies with the tires on the market, tubeless tires on the market that were required, or that were needed for safety for that particular wheel set. And that's when we really started learning, and we implemented multiple different tests in our in-house test lab. Bead stiffness, bead diameter, and blow-off test are three that in-house tests we have, and that's where we come up with our approved tire list for our hookless wheels, which are, it was 4.5 AR that was introduced in 2016. Then last year we added the 3.4 AR, and then more recently, this past April, the Foundation series, so the 45 and 65, which both are hookless bead as well. So having a thorough understanding of what makes a user-friendly and safe tubeless tire, I mean, that's what we've really poured a lot of energy into.
That's awesome, man. Yeah, sounds like a lot has gone into this. It's been years in the making. And you've been obviously riding them for a little bit now too, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, like who are these tires like really kind of built for? Like I saw that slogan of on the press release of everyday race tire. I thought that was a pretty catchy little term that you came up with. And yeah, tell me a little bit about
Yeah.
that.
Some people will hear that and they'll think, oh, it's just a marketing slogan for, maybe a tire that isn't the lightest or isn't the fastest. So what we looked at was, I mean, there's some great tires. There's a lot of great tires on the market, right? So, because we're a wheel manufacturer, rim manufacturer, we know what our rim tolerances are, and we know our rim shape and profile. And so we're like, well, for one, we wanted to be the fastest tire on an SES rim. Turns out you can put our tire on a zip rim or any other tubeless rim, and it's going to make that wheel set faster as well. These are not just tires for ENVE wheels. I'm sure we'll sell them mostly to ENVE customers, but you can use these, especially now that Zip, their new 303S, is hookless. It's a hookless sidewall as well. So these tires are made for that. But so aerodynamically, a fast tire. You're not talking about a huge amount of watts, 1 or 2 watts in aerodynamic gain over, a GP or a Schwalbe Pro 1, something like that. But then looking at rolling resistance, weight, puncture resistance, all these things that we weren't just chasing outright lowest rolling resistance or lightest weight tire. When you do that, you're going to have to make sacrifices. And maybe if you only want a straight up race tire and the course has been swept, you're not going to have any wire beads out there from car tires, you're not going to have any thorns or glass or anything like that. Maybe that's a risk you can take, but that wasn't something, those weren't trade-offs that we were willing to make for the SES tire. So we wanted something that had good puncture protection, um, user friendly. So it's, easy to install or remove from your wheel set. But yet still had good rolling resistance and was light. And so we kind of, we had all these different metrics that we were trying to look at, and it was this holistic approach to like how we were going to achieve and balance, durability, puncture resistance with the performance attributes.
That's really cool. It's hard to kind of achieve all those different things to one concept. And like you said, when you try and chase that like one thing to be the best, you are going to have to make sacrifices. So I think it's really, and you guys have really fast wheels, from the wind tunnel data, but it is cool to see that the tire that you chose is not only fast, but it's durable, and you got a lot of good feedback from it. So I'm really excited to try it out myself. And yeah, it seems like so far, I mean, you're sold out. So it's a good problem to have.
It's been good. And I think it goes, going back to like some of the testing we've been doing in the development process, we have tested literally every 25 to 32C tubeless tire on the market here in our lab. And we've put together, you may have seen it on like the cycling tips coverage. There are a few media that use the slide that we sent them for the media presentation, but we have a chart that represents every tire that we've tested and where they rate in terms of bead diameter, bead stiffness, and the pressure that they apply to a rim, that compression. And if you have too soft, if the bead stiffness isn't stiff enough, you have a tire that can come off rim, hookless or hooked, at a certain pressure. So basically we have this chart where we've listed everything, and we found what the sweet spot was for safety and for user friendly, for someone to be able to, with good technique, install a tire by hand or, with one tire lever. And so, having all of that data really helped us like know where we needed to be, kind of again, that sweet spot. And so that's where we're at with these.
Huh. That's super interesting, and a lot of people don't really know what kind of goes into the makings of a tire and how to test it, and like they just think, well, am I going to get a flat and is it fast? It's just like,
yeah,
there's a lot more components that go into it. So it's cool to kind
of, and it's like you said, and I mean, for the consumers, for our customers, we don't want them to have to worry about, is this tire safe? Am I going to be able to get it on or take it off if I have a flat out on the road and I need to put an inner tube in it? So that's why we, due diligence to make sure we've done everything. And so, when someone calls up our, customer service and looks for wants a tire recommendation, now we can say, these are the tires we can recommend. We know 100% that they're compatible with our wheels, that they're going to work well, how the wheel's designed. So it's kind of nice to be able to have that now.
Yeah, that's really, Lord knows, I've been stuck out on the road and I'm like, holy crap, I can't get this tire off. So
yeah,
I'll feel a lot better once I get a set of these on my wheels. So looking forward to that.
Yep.
And we're talking about tubeless, and like you did say, and there's a lot of data supporting the fact that tubeless is faster for a various amount of reasons, but tubeless wouldn't be faster unless you kind of dialed in this idea of air pressure within your tire. So can you just kind of give us a little background on like why tire pressure is important, and then I'm pretty sure you guys have a reference chart on your page as well.
Yeah. We do. So tire pressure is something that we've been really, working on and looking at for quite a while. I would say it's deceptive. If you go to a third party website like rollingresistance.com and you're looking at, they have all the most popular tires
Yep.
tested, and you can see what the rolling resistance is. So you can compare, tire versus tire. And when you look at the chart, you look at the graph, what you'll notice is as tire pressure increases, rolling resistance decreases. Well, that makes you think, well, I should probably be running 110 psi on my tires, right? Well, what you don't realize is that that is tested on a perfectly smooth drum. And so when you have a perfectly smooth surface, typically increased pressure is going to be faster. That's not reality for the roads that we ride on. So you can adjust air pressure depending on the terrain, the surface that you're riding on, how beat up the road is, chip sealed or broken pavement or even gravel. As the surface gets rougher, and even just like your everyday roads, like you don't realize how much it doesn't take that rough of a road to impact, like if your tire is overinflated, your tire is not compressing. And so basically every bump you hit, that's lifting it's taking energy to lift the entire bike and the rider above that, rather than, at a lower pressure, the tire being able to absorb that, which is less energy lost to be able to do. So tire pressure is really, really key. And, it's only been in the last few years that I think people are realizing that typically less is better. And so our tire pressure chart is a really good resource for that. It's really easy to figure out a range where, a good starting point to try based on rim width, tire size, rider weight.
Yeah.
And it's probably going to be lower than what you expect. And keep in mind, it's based on tubeless. So if you're running inner tubes, it's not going to be quite right. You'll need to run more pressure if you have inner tubes. Tubeless allows you to be able to go lower, reduces, there's no friction between the tire casing and the tube, so it's a more efficient rolling. So,
Well,
yeah, and it's just it's envy.com/tire pressure. So
okay.
it's easy to find on our website. Yep.
I was just gonna say, I was looking at it before we started talking here, and I was like, man, is that really like the tire pressure I should be running? And it was a lot lower than what I had expected. But yeah, I'm gonna go. I think the majority of our viewers are running higher rather than lower pressure. Like if you
Sure.
know like your baseline, I bet the majority of people are running like slightly higher than slightly lower. So
For sure.
and I'm no exception to that. So it was kind of eye-opening to see what the data shows as the ideal pressure for your rim width and your tire width.
Yeah, we have a really cool new test machine in our lab that is a rolling resistance test machine. But the most exciting part of it is that we have different tracks that can be added to it to replicate chip seal all the way up to like dirty Kansas style gravel, so that we can really get a true data on rim width, tire width, tire pressure, and how all of that impacts rolling resistance. So it's going to be a great resource.
That's really cool, man. And so as of right now, you guys have the 25 and the 29C tires out and, available, close to being available.
Yep.
Coming back in stock soon. And you also have 27 and 31 hitting the markets. When do you see those as available?
Those will be at the end of the year, so we're looking at December. So unfortunately, still a little ways down the road. But but yeah, once those are in, we're going to have a really nice range depending on whatever type of riding you want to do. So, and they all utilize the same casing. So you're going to have a performance tire with a good feel all the way up to 31. So for doing like the gravel you guys have in Boulder in that area, you know, it's not really chunky. It's pretty nice dirt roads like that. That either the 29 or the 31 is going to be just a really nice option for that.
Yeah, I'm really excited to test those, and you know, I took out AJ's Ventum NS1 last weekend, and was it has the 4.5 ARs on there, and I went up this like I took one little single track detour because I couldn't help myself, and I had some tubeless tires on there, and it's pretty amazing what like 32 tubeless tires like that are slicks can handle. So
Yeah, yeah.
I'm really excited to try out the new Envy ones. And so just as a heads up for our viewers and listeners on Teams, um, we are going to have this boosted discount of 40% off. Is that right, Neil?
Yep. Yeah. We want to get all the team members on Envy tires and, you know, enjoying the benefits of tubeless, especially pairing them with their, you know, their SES tire or their SES wheel set. So yeah, we're excited to be able to offer that.
40% off of the 25 and 29s that are available. That's up until October 15th. So if one of those sizes sounds appealing to you, jump on it now. If you want to wait for the 31s or the 27s, those are available later in the year. I'm sure we'll do something later in the year for that. But
for sure.
Right now,
for sure,
up until October 15th, 40% off. Get it while it's hot. Neil, anything else to report? Family's all good?
Everyone's good. Yeah, we have some big stuff still in the works for the rest of the year, so we're going to be pinned, I'd say, through Thanksgiving. But yeah, more exciting stuff to come. But yeah, thanks for having me, Jeff.
Yeah, absolutely, Neil. Always a pleasure, and we look forward to hearing more, new stuff that happens throughout Envy. All right, buddy. Good to talk to you.
Thanks, buddy.
Cheers.
Take care.